House of the Dragon, Season 1, Episode 2, title The Road Prince. Now, this episode I found to be a hell of a lot better than Episode 1. Episode 1, oddly enough, felt like a prequel to the main story, which is essentially what it was, but because of it, it just made it feel meh. It felt like an okay episode versus a great episode. Only like 3 things mainly happened, and all those main 3 events happen in like the last like 15 minutes of the episode, which is the death of the queen, the brother of the king is no longer the heir, and the new heir to the king is his daughter. That's mainly the 3 events that happened in the story, and now the main story starts. And this episode is really good, amazing work in this episode. And what it is, it's basically having this whole thing of like, yeah, we got the heir to the throne, and it's a queen, but we're gonna act like nothing has changed, nothing is different. The daughter is not going to be treated as the heir. She's going to be treated as like any other person, any other woman at that time, which was pour the drink for the men, comfort the men. Yeah, that's essentially, and in the Middle Ages, that essentially was the woman's role. A woman's role at the time was just to populate, cook, clean, and serve any other means that the man wants. That's essentially what it was. And I feel like with last week's episode with the C-section, which is horrific, and which was done at the time, and thank God for modern medicine, but also with a certain element where, because the whole council, which is, you know, think about it, a modern version of a king's council is the anti-woke crowd. I mean, seriously, when you think about it, you know, just bitch complain every single time there's a new TV show and that has a woman involved, and somehow it's man-hating, even though it isn't. But anyway, I mean, that joke really came out of hand. I mean, anyway, the king council is like, dude, we get it. Your wife just died 6 months ago, and you want to do something bold and new and fresh and have your daughter be the heir to the throne. But the problem is, it's going to look bad to the kingdom, and it's going to look bad to us, and it's going to look bad to you. And it's going to have people want to evade because they feel that the king is weak, even though we might think you are not. In reality, you're not. The affliction is they think the west of King's Landing is going to think you are weak. And having the perspectives, like this episode is so well written together with amazing performances and able to get everyone's perspective on the matter, even if they're not saying anything, but a look enough to be like, okay, that's your thoughts. Like the big major conversation is between the daughter and the queen that never was. Which is it's a cool ass title, but it's a horrible one to carry with you. It could be like, hey, you're a queen, but you're not really, huh? And everybody reminds you with it. It's a great name, but it's horrible. Anyway, we actually have it. But the scene between the two, the queen's like, because I wasn't queen, that means you ain't. It's the older things, you know. The man will always rule. The man will be the king, will be the ruler. It will just be that, and that's how the world worked. And you just have these wonderful conversations or these wonderful looks that kind of shapes the world, right? Now, the last thing I will talk about, or the last character I will talk about, and it's very briefly, because I'm just like, this character is just well put. It's probably is still the best written character, the best performance character of the entire show, and that is Daemon. Daemon the Targaryen, played by Matt Smith, is such well put together of his, like, when we meet him in the episode, which is on this, like, bridge, It's like, no whale bridge. It's like the Death Star when there's no whaling. And it's just so fucking good. Like, I was riveted. I was glued to the screen. And it's just the character. Because he's Star. As I said last week, and I'm probably going to say it for this entire show until the character dies or something, is that this character is Star. And we, us as an audience member, find those characters who feel like it's their birthright, or they feel like they could do a better job, or they feel they are earned, and it's, whatever the situation is, like that type of character is gripping. And him just trying to, and he's trying to do his own thing, really. He's trying to bring his culture to a different place and rule in a Targaryen fashion, but everyone's like, no, you can't even do that, so they shack him some more. It's like, no wonder, he feels like he's going to be the new bad guy. Like, it feels like he's going to be a bagger villain. And I love it how he's like, I can talk crap about my brother, but you can't. It's just so really well put together. There's certain things I would talk about, but it's just how do I word it in a way. But it's just a really well put together episode that just made me want to smile and grin. And clearly we have like the big bad to the big bad, which is these like what I'm trying to remember what are they called? They call themselves crab ears, because they pour like crabs on people and let the crab peel their skin and eat them. And the moment that happened, I'm like, Jesus Christ, they're really gonna show how violent and why we wish we didn't live in those times. I definitely not want to sit on the iPhone. I mean, I have sat on the iPhone, but that's kind of like a plastic, a Comic-Con type thing. But you don't actually sit on the actual iPhone, which is built by swords, and it would easily cut you all the time, because you have to stick your hand in magnets. You have a wound that is clearly peeling nothing but pus coming out of your back. It's just, I feel like if anyone's gonna die, it's the king. Halfway through, I wouldn't be shocked we see the death of the king himself, and then the heir will become queen, and then everything will fall apart, because as the story goes, the Targaryens tear themselves from the inside in, and we're just going to witness how that happened. So, a really good episode. Let's continue with this week. Not this week, but let's continue. Let's make it a